Imagine a classroom where students come prepared, engaged, and ready to apply their knowledge. That's the power of the flipped classroom. Instead of using valuable class time for lectures, students explore foundational concepts on their own through videos, readings, and interactive modules. Then, class time transforms into an active learning experience where students engage in discussion, problem-solving, and real-world application. Body Interact Virtual Patience brings this method to life in 3 key stages: before, during, and after class. Before class, assign Body Interact scenarios along with scientific references, or additional readings related to the pathology, condition, or key concepts you want students to explore. These materials provide foundational knowledge, preparing students for the next stage of active learning, and enabling them to engage meaningfully with the in-class activities. During class, facilitate group discussions, analysis, and decision-making using the same assigned Body Interact scenarios. This creates opportunities for students to share challenges, discuss strategies to overcome them, and put critical thinking, clinical reasoning, teamwork, communication, and empathy into practice. Educators guide students in applying their knowledge dynamically, deepening their understanding. After class, to reinforce the learning, assign follow-up scenarios focusing on the same condition or topic. This ensures that students consolidate their knowledge and further develop their clinical reasoning skills, preparing them for real-life challenges. Combining Body Interact with the flipped classroom approach engages your students with hands-on learning, shifting them from passive listeners to active participants. Let's hear from educators at St. Elizabeth's School of Nursing on how Body Interact enhances their flipped classroom experience.
So instead of just doing a really two-dimensional case study on paper, I'll pull up the Body Interact on the screen in the front of the room and have the students kind of drive the scenario and have them make the choices and the interventions and see what happens with the patient so that they get a really accurate representation of, if we gave that medication, how would the patient actually respond? I like running a scenario once, letting them kind of do it all on their own, debriefing with them afterwards and asking them, why did you make this decision? Why did you make that decision? And so I can pause the scenario and I can ask the students, what do you think is happening? Why are you doing that? What are your thoughts? And really get a good idea of where they're at. Because we used a flip classroom method, we can talk about a disease process or a policy or a procedure, and then we can pull up the scenario and have the students actually go through what we just talked about, which is really beneficial for them. I can assign them a scenario on Body Interact. They can do it from home, and then they can either debrief and I can have them answer questions and send it to me, or we can meet on a video call and we can debrief the scenario.